Well, on my Off My Set segment this week, I bring you the ultimate box set, the Mel Brooks box set. But we're going to discuss several of the movies on different episodes of Saturday Preflight. On tonight's episode, we are going to discuss a rarely talked about Mel Brooks movie. In fact, it is one of his earliest films with a great cast and a great storyline based on a classic story from Russia. It is called The 12 Chairs. It stars Ron Moody, Frank Langella, Dom DeLuise, and of course Mel Brooks is in this with a very small role as Tikhon. The basis of it's put this premise in. It's 1927 Soviet Union. Ron Moody plays Vovanov, a impoverished aristocrat from the Imperial Russia days. But now, because now the Bolsheviks took over communism, now he's working as a local bureaucrat. He is summoned to the deathbed of his mother-in-law, which she reveals that she's kept some of the jewels that the Bolsheviks didn't get and sewn it into one of 12 of the dining chairs. But before mentioning that to her son-in-law, she mentions it into a confession to a Russian Orthodox priest, played by Dom DeLuise, and it becomes a run around Russia to find these chairs. And Ron Moody is joined by a sort of con man, played by Frank Langella, who plays Bender, Ostap Bender, not that Bender, but he plays a con man that he's looking for these jewels with Ron Moody. This is a fun romp on a story that was written many decades earlier, and it is a great performance by Langella and Moody. And I'll tell you, DeLuise does a fantastic job. He almost steals the show. And of course, Mel Brooks is in it for just a little bit of time. And, you could see the early days of the genius of Mel Brooks in this movie. Because basically, this is the starting point. You have to think about it. Mel Brooks was on television, with a lot of other comedians. And they're now branching off to make movies and to do this. I mean, this is just fantastic. I mean, the original story was called The 12 Chairs by Elof and Petrov. And you can look this up. It's a great novel. I mean, it's a little bit longer in the novel. It's a little long-winded on there, but it is great humor, sometimes a little dark, or sometimes really hysterical at certain points. I mean, there are some great scenes in this movie, and I don't want to give those out and tell you what those are. You need to go see this. See, that's the problem. Most people, you know the producers, History of the World, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, and people can quote stuff from it. I mean, there's not a lot of quotable stuff on here. There is about 3 scenes that you can do on here, including one piece at the end, which is excellent. It's excellently done, the ending of this movie. But this is one that should be cherished, because basically it is a great tale. You don't hear great tales that come out into movies that are turned into comedies, but this happens to be one of them. I got this on Blu-ray. I would suggest it's kind of hard to find it on its own. There are DVD versions of it. They did a Blu-ray upgrade. The upgrade is decent on there. It is pretty good. It's not a full screen restoration on there. It basically is cut off to 4.3, but it's worth seeing. It is really worth seeing. Your best bet is to get the Mel Brooks collection. The price is increasing. I've seen anywhere. I myself paid $30. It is now $50 plus. I've seen it as high as $250 for this collection. It contains the best of, with the only exception of The Producers is not on this box set, which I was surprised. But you could buy the producers separately for a decent price. But if you're looking for all these movies together, this is the box set to have. And we'll be discussing other movies from this box set that are not talked about much. There is one other, and I'll tell you this. In this movie, the next one we'll talk about, and in fact it's coming up next week, it only has one word in the entire film. And you can guess what movie that is if you are a fan of Mel Brooks. So, 12 chairs, go out, grab it. I've not seen it really online on streaming, really. I think you should be able to rent it. But like I said, go out and get it. Buy physical media. I mean, that's the best thing to do because some of these titles, they'll be hard to get because of some of the plot lines, some of the issues that are in the movie, some things they might say. You know, people get offended by things of the old days, which they shouldn't be. You know, and I always keep harking back onto Disney to release Song of the South because basically people say, well, it's racist. I said, did you watch the movie? Did you really watch the movie? I just watched the movie recently within the last couple of months. And not to what they say. It happens to be a good movie about tales from Africa that has been passed on from generation to generation. And hey, listen, this is what the whole story is. It's talking about a story, you know, and that's what all these things. These are stories. People. There are a small group of people that get offended by these stories. Don't listen to them. Go and watch it yourself. You might enjoy it. You might hate it. But at least you took the chance to watch it. And that's the one thing they don't want you to do. Because basically they want to keep everything censored. Because they don't like it, doesn't mean you're not going to like it.